Hello and welcome back to my channel. I thought today that I would do a downsides of minimalism video because it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But there are some these that you need to be aware of. So I thought that I would do a video on those things. And you need to understand before I start that these are not excuses to not do minimalism or to not, embrace minimalism and let it inform your decisions, because minimalism is the best thing that I have ever done. So to make a video slating it feels a little cruel. I feel like I'm turning on my best friend a little. However, it's happening. I've made a list. I'm gonna talk about these things, so here we go. The downsides of minimalism. Number one, sometimes we don't have enough cups. So we only have two things each. We have two forks and two knives and two spoons and two cups and two plates. And that means that we have to go and wash them. So that's why I'd love to be the kind of person who was physically capable of having more than two bowls in their cupboard, but if I do, they all end up in the sink. So it can't be done in this house, I'm afraid. But we decluttered our mugs. So we only had two out, but then we do infrequently have guests. So we had a few put away, like right at the very back of the cupboard, because Charles has a very big family. So anyway, one day they all descended upon us and there weren't enough mugs. And this is number one. There weren't enough mugs at one time. And Charles had to go without a cup of tea and just had to have a cup of tea when they'd gone. So as you can see, it's not that big a deal, but I mean, that wouldn't have happened before minimalism. What's number two, notepad? Number two is I decluttered my clothes so that I only have my nice clothes that I feel comfortable in. And that meant that when we came to paint the stairs, that I didn't have any crap clothes. Because sometimes you do need crap clothes, like if you're doing some painting or paint stripping, which is what I was doing. Or like the other day, I did some weeding and I was like, I don't have any weeding clothes. I did end up wearing some clothes, but I always had, what was it? It was this like boxing top, like it was for a large man's boxing top, which was like a sort of dress on me. And that was always covered in paint, and that was my odd jobs outfit. And I don't have an odd jobs outfit anymore, but I still survived. Before minimalism, I definitely had something that was my crap clothes that I could wear in that situation. Now I don't have any crap clothes. So that's number two. Again, the more I talk about them, the more I realize they are not downsides. So I don't know what I want to call this video now, but whatever. Number three, what people think. The problem with what people think is that they're quite often not actually judging your life and your decisions, but they're seeing your choices and the way you live your life as a criticism of how they live theirs. So I certainly know people who, if I talk about how I live my life, they get a bit like, as if, and start getting really defensive. And it's like, whoa, I wasn't saying, anything about your life. You do what you need to do. That's great, You keep doing it. I'm not getting involved in what you do. I'm just trying to talk about my things. So it's gotten to the point now where I just don't really talk about my stuff anymore, because it just gets met with defensiveness. Something that gets talked about quite a lot when you're decluttering is one of the reasons people like to hang on to things is these what if moments. So what if I end up needing this? What if I get invited to a party where I'd need to dress as a cat and I get rid of my cat costume? Oh no, what would I do in that instance? And these kind of situations happen very, very infrequently, but I was invited, as I mentioned a few videos ago, to a murder mystery party where I had to dress up as an androgynous French cabaret singer. And I used to have a beret, which I didn't wear, but I had it. And I really wanted a beret because I was dressing up as a French person and I needed a beret. And I went everywhere looking for a beret, but they don't sell them in my tiny seaside town, who'd have thought. And I was thinking, oh, I really wish I had kept that beret. But I didn't really mean it, and what all that ended up happening was that I went to the party without a beret and everything was fine. The next, I just bit my tongue, the next travel for me at one point in my minimalism journey was the opposite of me being grateful for what I had. And I'm not saying that this is going to be the same for everyone. I'm saying that I was discontented with where I was and what I was doing, and I felt that that was because I needed to be traveling, and if I wasn't doing that, then I wasn't going to feel content. Seeing minimalists online traveling and living these amazing lives, and it is incredible, and it's amazing that they can do that, but I feel there's almost a pressure to be that way and to want to travel and to go and do all these amazing things. And I think it's wonderful. I'm not slating traveling, but I'm saying that there's a certain way that online minimalists live their life. If we're painting them with an incredibly broad brush, and it makes sense why, because they're living exciting lives, they're doing all these exciting things. So, you know, they're going to be people who are broadcasting it. So there's this definite online pressure to be a certain way. For me, it was definitely traveling and watching people traveling, and really made me want to do it. But I don't think it's totally right for me. Maybe it will be at one point, but I'm very fortunate to be someone who has a job that they love, and I love the people that I work with, and I wouldn't change that, I don't think. And the last one is something I talked about in my my minimalist journey video, which is that you do get to a point in the process where you've decluttered and you are reassessing and you're, you know, reanalyzing everything that you are and your priorities, and there is a certain feeling of being lost. I experience it. I'm not sure if other people do, but you do. I got to a point certainly where I was like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know who I am. My priorities are all different. All I know at this point is that the way I was living before wasn't making me happy. I don't know what is going to make me happy now, and there's a lot of relearning to do. And when you realize that, when you're at the point where you realize that, you know, there's a hell of a lot of rebuilding to do, it can be a bit daunting. However, when you get through that, and you know, you've got your priorities sorted, your home's easy to clean, and you know, everything's just like nice and simple, then it is so worth the journey and worth all of that upheaval. So they were my 6 downsides of minimalism. Minimalism is amazing. I don't mean to slate it, but you know, just in the interest of fair representation, I thought I would share those with you. If you enjoy videos like this, please feel free to subscribe and please leave a comment, because I love hearing from you. And hello to all my new subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me. I will see you in my next one. Thanks very much. I'll see you later. Bye.